that day because I really did not want to go on a blind date. But then I stalked his Instagram and I was like, okay, I could probably get down with that. Just kidding, that's his little brother. That's him. So we ended up going on our first date. We went to a comedy club and then we got Chinese food and ate it in his backyard treehouse, which was actually very adorable. I wish I had more photos. We hit it off really well. He asked me on a second date and we started hanging out every single day, becoming best friends. Things were going so well until his ex-girlfriend came along and hit him with this text. And this was his reaction. I don't fault him for this because she had broken up with him only a few weeks before he met me and he was not planning on getting in a relationship fresh out of this. He just honestly wanted to go on a fun little blind date. So, like the cool, amazing, awesome girl I am, I said, you should go get closure with her, see if you want to still be with her or if you want to still continue hanging out with me. Then I got a call. This was about a week after we had that conversation and she sent him that text and he said, hey, can I come please pick you up so we can talk? And part 2.
This is the story of how my life changed in just one day. On November 2nd of 2012, I posted a video online announcing that I would be getting an arranged marriage, like my older sister. On November 3rd of 2012, a cute guy I met at the mall named Seth asked me on a date. We dated secretly for months, and when my parents finally found out, they immediately disapproved and wanted me to choose between them and him. I refused to do so, and it was a tough year of our lives, with lots of tears and heartbreak. After a little over a year of dating, my parents finally agreed to meet Seth and his mom on Thanksgiving Day. This was the night we finally received my parents' blessing. We had our fusion wedding a few years later and it was magical. Since then, we've traveled the world together, built our business, and even visited Bangladesh together. His love for my country and our culture melted my parents' hearts from the moment they met him. To this day, my parents gush about how much they love Seth and treat him like their own son. I am so thankful that our story is proof that love always wins.
We met when I was 14 and he was just turning 16. We were together on and off through high school and then went to college in different states. After driving overnight to visit me every other weekend, he changed schools and we became inseparable. We got engaged December 1991 and were married in November 1992. We had 3 baby boys in a row and were so in love with each other and our little family. In the decade after our youngest was born, I had several miscarriages and was told that another baby was extremely unlikely. We moved on and had many years of amazing adventures as a family of 5. Fast forward to summer of 2015 when we had the biggest surprise of our lives. A baby girl was on the way. We kept her a secret for as long as we possibly could, and finally getting to tell her brothers is one of my happiest memories. Our daughter was born in March 2016, and she's the cherry on our sundae. Last November, we celebrated 27 years of marriage.
Yep, this is me and my husband Cole as kids flirting all the way back in diaper days. My mom threw his baby shower and our parents were actually best friends in college. We went to each other's birthday parties, there I am at his, and here he is at mine helping me set up my very first playhouse. Throughout life, we would see each other at family gatherings, which leads us to way too many awkward photos like this one that we do not like. Yikes. Fast forward to college, my brother and Cole became best friends and college roomies. At the same time, I started a band and was looking for a bass player. Little did I know that was going to be Cole. We were way too nervous to cross that family friend line, but finally he asked me on a real date. The rest was history. We had so much fun, I really don't remember going from being best friends to falling in love, but we dated for a few years, and one random night, he surprised me with 2 tickets to New York City, where he finally proposed. We got married, and after 1 year of living in Utah, we decided to risk it all and follow our dreams to move to New York City. Fast forward 5 years to now, we launched an app together, traveled the world together, and shoot for some of the coolest brands in the world, and guess what? We're still in love.
So if you didn't see the first video, I flew across the country to meet a girl that I met on TikTok to help her drive back so she can be with her family in Miami. Here's what happened next. We met outside her car and we were both relieved that neither of us were catfished. Phew. She took me to El Matador Beach in Malibu where we had In-N-Out right on the beach. It was amazing. I also jumped in the water and it was really cold. Met her sister's family and we started our road trip. We drove through Vegas and then tried to go to the Hoover Dam, but it was closed. But then found this cool little hike right around the corner. We had a little trouble with almond butter, but then we kept driving and watched the sunset on top of this beautiful mountain just south of the Grand Canyon. We set our alarms and got up super early to watch the sunrise at the Grand Canyon, and it was so worth it. And then... just kidding, but I did ask her to be my girlfriend and we shared our first kiss. We drove for a bit more and had a picnic on the side of the road. Some people slept, and then we drove to El Paso where we spent the night and started driving through Texas, had some Texas barbecue, and drove through Texas. We stopped for some spicy margaritas on the San Antonio Riverwalk. It hit some people harder than others. It feels like we're never leaving Texas.
So what
all started when I moved into his neighborhood in 6th grade and we met at the park in between our houses. We were in the same friend group in middle school and I thought he was really cute, but he was dating one of my best friends. Fast forward to sophomore year of high school and he asked me to homecoming. A few months later, he came to one of my dance performances and asked me to be his girlfriend after the show. We dated all throughout high school. We were voted cutest couple, went on lots of cheesy dates, and won prom king and queen our senior year. I ended up going to college in California and he went in Washington, so we decided to break up. After over a year and a half apart, we got back together in the middle of our sophomore year. We were inseparable during our summers at home and would visit each other at school too. After college, we both moved back home to the Seattle area and we've been together ever since. Met when we were 12, started dating when we were 15, and now we're 25. I can't wait to see what's next.
I met Anthony when I was a single mom to my 3-year-old daughter, Jaden. I wasn't looking to date then. I had just graduated college and was busy working and spending time with her. We were introduced through mutual friends at a restaurant by chance, and ended up talking for hours. I told him right away I had a daughter. In my mind, I knew I wouldn't even consider dating someone who had a problem with me having a child. The next day, he texted me and asked if we could go to dinner again, this time just the two of us. We hung out once a week and talked every day. I didn't want to be gone from Jaden too much for dates, and didn't want to introduce her to any man in my life unless it was serious. I introduced Jaden to Anthony 6 months after we met, and she said he looked like Prince Eric. We spent each Saturday doing fun activities together, and I can see their bond was becoming so strong as well. Anthony proposed a year and a half after we met, and also gave Jaden a tiny ring asking her to be the flower girl. We were married almost 2 years later, and he promised to love and be there for both me and Jaden no matter what. And he's kept that promise. We've been married for almost 7 years, and I can't imagine my life any other way.
So we traveled to over 40 countries together and had the most amazing experiences. People assume we were perfect because of what social media shows you, but traveling was really a distraction from the problems in our relationship. We decided to break up and focus on ourselves, and I was sad, but it was a blessing in disguise. I became the happiest version of me, and that's when the fun in New York began and my insane dating life began. I fell in love all over again, but then we somehow ended up quarantining together. So stay tuned, I guess. So we get in the car. I have no idea where his head is at, and he basically says, I got closure with this girl. I really want to date you and only you. Where are your feelings at? I'm trying to act skeptical. I'm trying to act cool, not let him in too easy. But basically I was like, yes, I want to date you. So we started dating. The next few months were literally pure bliss. We went on so many dates. We went on a trip to California, and only 5 months later, he asked me to marry him. And of course, I said yes. It was the best day ever. The proposal was perfect. The ring was so perfect, and I was so happy. And then only a few weeks later, my best friend got engaged as well. So we were engaged at the same time, which was just so freaking fun. 6 months later, we got married, and it was the most perfect day of my whole entire life. Here are some photos from the best day ever. And my childhood bestie that I introduced you at the beginning of the video became my sister-in-law. So how about that? Since then, my husband Leif and I have traveled the world together. We actually end up working together now. And we even got a little puppy that we're obsessed with, and we moved to California, which was our dream.
So it all started in the 90s when his family joined the swim club that my grandparents started in the 1960s. Fast forward to 2008, we started dating because I slid into his MySpace messages because he was 2 grades above me. We then became high school sweethearts and went to all the school dances together. We decided to split because we were going to different colleges, but still would see each other every now and then. After college, I visited him in Chicago, and our romance sparked again. We traveled a month together to South Africa, and after our trip, decided I should move to Chicago to give our relationship a shot. We got our first apartment together, and our puppy Jazzy joined us as well. Fast forward 2 years after moving to Chicago, I took a girls' trip to Tulum with my friends. On the last day of vacation, we wanted to end with a fancy dinner to celebrate the trip. Anthony had traveled all the way to Tulum to surprise me at the restaurant with this moment. We hope to get married after COVID-19 and can't wait for our future together.
So it was a typical day in New York for me. Excuse my messy room. I wake up, go to the gym, grab a coffee, go to my meetings, and this guy and I had been messaging each other on Instagram. He had all these pics of him and his dog, which was cute, and we made a plan to meet up that day. So I go back home. It was already like 8 p.m. and I was finishing getting ready. He kept asking me to get a juice, which would have been cool if it was earlier, but it was literally 8 p.m. when every juice shop in New York is closed. So I'm just confused at this point. I said I wanted to go to this bar, and I felt a little weird about it at this point, but I never tried to judge anyone through text. Anyway, I get to the bar. I was literally waiting there 45 minutes. He walks in, and you'll never believe what happens next. Like for part 2.